highlights. The questions burning up the sports world get answered right here. This isn't just another recap. It's the sports answer. And leading the charge, sharp, fearless, and always bringing the edge, your host, Rudy Campos Jr. If you're talking sports, you better have the sports answer.
Sports Answer fans, welcome back to the show. You've got those burning sports questions. We've got the sports answers. And what do we have today? My God, the first few games for the semis in the NFL on the road to that big game at the end of the season. It's off to a great start, man. You know, Seattle had a dominant performance, but the game of the night, obviously, Buffalo, Denver. We're going to kind of break that down. A lot of controversy behind it. We're going to kind of get opinions of mine and as well as our special guest. What else do we have? Harbaugh finds a home. Kevin Stefanski also finds a home. Where they go and kind of give you some thoughts on that. Monday, tomorrow, is the big game, the national championship game between Indiana and Miami. Kind of go over a quick recap. Of course, we've got your favorite segment in San Antonio, Spurs Cheesemas. Spurs on the road, back-to-back losses, 3-game homestand, back-to-back wins. Do we see anything different? Apparently, there's a new trend going around in San Antonio that we got to get into. Plus, we got a sports question from you fans out there. Appreciate you listening to us here on the Sports Answer. It's an NIL question and it's a local question. So we'll get into that as well here on the Sports Answer, powered by Salem Surround, 210-526-3635. Contact them today. Your brand needs to be built. It needs to be built right. It's going to go from all the way from marketing. It's going to be more advertising, that website that you need built. In order for your brand to succeed and your business to thrive, contact Salem Surround today, 210-526-3635. If you need to go to their website, salemsurround.com/San Antonio. Before we bring our guest on, I want to play you a little clip here because why? We want to give a quick shout out to St. John Paul II Catholic High School over in Shirts, Texas. They had a very, very fun high school game. They had a buzzer beater to win the game. Got a quick clip here. Let's play that for you. Shout out to St. John Paul II Catholic High School over in Shirts, Texas.
Yeah, man, it was a good game. 58-56 final score. Played against a tough Geneva team. Geneva played us hard all the way to the end, man. It was back and forth. In the final play, we really just wanted to get it in our best player's hands. DJ Miller, him getting all the way to the basket the way he did. Even though he technically didn't finish it, we were preaching to Garner Prof, our big man, to continue to rebound, continue to get every rebound. And sure enough, he all the way at the end, he got the rebound, finished it at the buzzer, and we won the game. So it was just about really just persevering and, continuing to play all the way to the end. That's really what we preach. So right now we are, I believe, 16-4 overall. We are 6-1 in the conference, and we're just trying to keep it going, man. We're trying to get the state, man. So we just continue to work. Man. That's it.
Definitely shout out to St. John Paul II Catholic High School in Church, Texas. Congratulations on the win. And let's move on forward here. Let's bring on our guest. You know him very well. He's been on the Sports Answer quite a few times now. He is from Grading the Market over at Box Score Studio. It is Mr. Jacob Eric of Box Score Studio. Hey, welcome back, Jacob.
Hey, what's up, Rudy? Thanks for having me back again.
Yeah, man. Yeah, for sure. Trying to get you on here. It's kind of weird that you're not even popping on screen, but they definitely can see you. They'll probably see you here in just a little bit. Hey, man, you want to follow Jacob Eric again? He is with Grading the Market. We're going to get into some talk here right now. We've got NFL talk, man. The Seahawks and the Niners. It was game 2 yesterday. Obviously, the main game was the headliner at the beginning of the day, but Seahawks 41, San Francisco 6. It was just over from the get-go. I mean, Raheed Shaheed bit that 95-yard touchdown run to open the game. It was 17-0 quickly after the first quarter. The Seahawks just seem to be like a team on a mission, and one that I don't think a lot of people were giving too much credit for at the beginning of the season. Derek Gervin actually was saying, "Hey, the Seahawks are going to be really, really good." When him and I did the Sports Answer at the beginning of the Sports Answer when we started this thing, and I do like, you know what, Derek, I see it, but I still don't know how Sam Darnold's going to be in Seattle. He was good in Minnesota. He revitalized his career. But when he got to Seattle, I thought, man, I don't really know how it's going to work out. Seems to have been working out pretty well so far.
It does. It does. And you know what? It's one of those kind of statement wins that Seattle just pulled off last night where they just came out. They pummeled them, like you said, right from the get-go. To me, it was just a statement win. I did not expect this. We picked the Seahawks, or I picked the Seahawks to win, but I didn't think that they were going to just do them, curb stomp them like this, man. It was one of those games where you kind of were just paying attention to it. You had it on, you know what I mean? But you were kind of just doing something else. I think I
You're
was
doing
like,
the dishes in the background.
yeah, you know what I mean? One of those things you kind of like checking the phone and stuff like that. And you just look over and you're like, oh, wow, they scored again. Oh, they scored again. And it was just, wow, they just didn't let up. Props to them, though. I mean, that's what you want your team to be doing, especially in a time like this in the post. You want them to be just have that killer instinct when you have their foot on it. Just keep going. Just keep going and don't let up. You like seeing that. This is a statement win for the Seahawks, putting everybody else like on notice, like, hey, we're here. No matter who it's going to be, we're coming. This is what we can do, and this is what we're going to do.
Yeah, and finish off, Kenneth Walker had 116 yards rushing, 3 touchdowns on the ground. They controlled the both sides of the ball the entire game. And it was funny because I think it was week 13. They played San Francisco, Seattle again. And, Seattle basically held the Niners. I think it was like 3 points. And I think they had a total of 130 something yards of total offense. And again, Seattle holding the Niners to 6 points, all 6 points coming in the second quarter. I mean, it was 24-6 at halftime. San Francisco didn't even sniff another point after that. Again, they controlled Christian McCaffrey, 35 yards rushing. I think Brock Purdy only had 140 yards passing. It was just a dominant performance by the best team in the NFC ranked wise, because I still have the Rams as, my Super Bowl champions, but we'll get into that in a little bit here. But again, Seattle dominating San Francisco 41-6, man. Then you got the game of games that happened earlier in the day. It was the Buffalo Bills and the Denver Broncos went into overtime. Broncos ended up winning 33-30, but not by, can you say, without controversy, I guess. Now, this was a controversial game. In essence, did Brandon Cooks catch it? What about that pass interference on Moss against Brandon Cooks? They said it was uncatchable. You don't really know. Now, I'm going to just throw this out there. Now, when you say it's uncatchable, I totally understand if it's legitimately uncatchable. But with today's athletes, I've seen some of the most amazing catches and most amazing plays that it's hard to say something is uncatchable unless it is obviously uncatchable. Calls going left and right. I mean, ultimately, Denver got the win because Buffalo at the end of the game, at the end of overtime, just pass interference call, holding call, this and that. So is it more of Denver getting the favorite home cooking calls, or was it more Buffalo just kind of collapsing at the end with some of these PIs and holds and stuff like that?
Nah, to me, Rudy, it wasn't even Buffalo collapsing at the end, because you know what? And I hate to say this, and I feel bad for Josh Allen, but he was collapsing the entire game. I mean, 4 turnovers. The team had 5 turnovers total. It's going to be. I'm surprised that the game actually went into overtime, having 5 turnovers. If you have 5 turnovers, you should be that score should be way more than what it is and stuff like that. But yeah, no. Josh Allen, he had a rough day. I feel bad for the guy. Rudy, you and I are sports fans. We know that things like this happen. when we're kind of like rooting for like our team, we like seeing when these games happen during the late, maybe like in the regular season and stuff like that, because then we point out and we're like, hey, there it is. There it is right there. You got it out of the system. Go ahead. It's gone. You know what I mean? Put it behind
Yeah.
you. Just keep going forward. You hope it doesn't pop up in the post. Unfortunately for Josh Allen, this one came up in a division game. I just feel bad for him. You could see that how bad he felt in the post game at the podium, where he was like holding back tears, saying like, "Hey, I let my team down." I mean, he just had a tough one all day.
Yeah, it was bad for Josh Allen. As you mentioned, 4 turnovers, 2 interceptions, 2 fumbles. You're right. I like what you brought up. That was a great point because when you normally have 5 turnovers from a team, it's usually a lopsided victory. I mean, you would figure Denver would have won by maybe 2 touchdowns, something like that. But nonetheless, Buffalo's been fighting all year long, especially in the fourth quarter. They've had 2 comebacks. I know one was against Baltimore, and I can't remember offhand the other one was this, but it was it was big comebacks in the fourth quarter, which they did outscore Denver 13-7 in that fourth quarter to get the game tied. Now, it's not to say they didn't have their chances at the end. They really did. And going back to, the controversial calls. I mean, you're talking about the Moss. Moss is basically being held going into the end zone. Again, uncatchable. What can we say is uncatchable? What can we say is catchable? I tend to feel like I've literally got dumber watching this game because then you've got Brandon Cooks who had possession, got to the ground. Now, yes, you can always go and look at, a player like Shannon Sharp, who's just talking about this. JJ Watt mentions this, a lot of these former NFL players. And you always get, Gene Steratore saying, well, this was a catch. This is not a catch. He didn't, maintain possession through the entire catch. He didn't do it. There's so many different
Football
reasons
move.
behind. Again, that's a word I was going to get into in a second. There's so many different reasons as to what a football move is. If you're asking me, the average fan or the average guy who covers NFL and NBA and stuff, I look at that as he made the catch, had enough time in possession, and he was on the ground and touched. Now, I understand, the ball was ripped away from him, but at what point is the play dead? I mean, everything was made. So again, it goes back to why do we not see consistency in NFL officiating? Because
No, you know
last
what?
year,
That's
go
just
ahead.
going to be that's going to just be the fan in us. You know what I mean? I remember I was watching that part with alongside with my brother and whatever, and we were divided. He was like, "That guy's down," and I'm like, "No, he's not." He's like, "He's
Mhm.
down." No, it's not. But yeah, you're right. Everybody's going to see every play different.
Everybody's going to see every play different, and that's what I think. But then it goes back to instant replay. Like I mean, what is the point of instant replay if you can't legitimately pick every single part of a video out? I mean, you can't make it happen in real time. Totally get that, man. I understand that. There's a reason why instant replay was, brought back for reasons like this. And if you're looking at it, it's like, well, I mean, he has a catch, check mark. He was down, check mark. He was touched, check mark. Did he maintain possession of the ball through the entire, process? Maybe, maybe. But when it gets to that maybe, Jacob, that's where it goes to, okay, he's got 3 out of the 4 boxes checked. I understand it's got to be 4 out of 4, but then can you not say, well, then, okay, I couldn't remember the guy who they gave the interception to. Did he have control? Did he have maintained? Yeah. There's so many camera angles that it just drives people crazy, man. And that's why I'm saying, is this a replay? Is it doing its job?
And the ball never touched the ground, too. You got to
Never.
remember, never. But the ball never touched the ground. So we can what if we can, hey, check this out. We could do that. Look at this. Check this angle, like you said, till tomorrow. And when you ask everybody, you're probably, if you ask 10 people, you're probably going to still get, different answers, 50%
Dude,
or something like that. And
why
that's
do I have a why do I have a feeling that come tomorrow or maybe Tuesday we're gonna get the official? It was a catch by Brandon Hooks. The NFL did miss it. I guarantee you we're gonna if we do it, we're gonna do an emergency show, man. I mean, that's the thing.
get that
But
2-minute report.
exactly. Nonetheless, Buffalo end up losing again in a heartbreaker. They seem to be losing these heartbreakers in the NFL playoffs. Denver Broncos did defeat the Buffalo Bills 33-30. Also, quick note here, Bo Nix broke a bone in his ankle. He's going to be out for the remainder of the season. So how is that going to affect Denver moving forward? Obviously, it probably puts them not in the favorable spot, probably going to put them in a underdog spot. Jared Stidham is going to be named and has been named the starter for right now. Do we happen to see Phillip Rivers walk through that door and maybe try to try to lead the Broncos to a Super Bowl?
He hasn't thrown a Stidham hasn't. I think he said he hasn't thrown a pass since 2023. Rudy.
Oh man,
Jesus.
it's bad times right now for Denver right now with Bo Nix being out. So we're gonna see what happens right there. We got 2 games today before we get our first commercial break. Got a couple more things to get into here. We've got the Texans and Patriots. Obviously, winner's going to meet the Denver Broncos to see who goes to the Super Bowl. Texans Patriots, man. Who do you got in this game? I still got the Texans. I mean, I know Nico Collins is out, but I'm still going to roll with the Texans. I think their defense is playing right at Denver level, if not better. Give me the Texans, but it wouldn't surprise me if the Patriots won this game. I'm going to just spell this right now, brother. Whoever wins this game represents the AFC in the Super Bowl. This is
You're not going to give Jared Stidham a shot?
No. I mean, maybe when he was back in, I think it was in Baylor. Maybe when he was at Baylor, possibly, but no, not at the NFL.
Yeah, you're writing him out just like that, man.
Yeah.
Just put him No, we're laughing, but no, it's not funny. You know what happened, Bo Nix and stuff like that. I know I messaged you like right after it happened. I was like, man, that game, it just keeps on giving. No, but going back to this game, I'm gonna roll with the Texans. Rooting for you Texans fans. Hope y'all do win, and if y'all pull it out, it looks like y'all should have an easy road to the Super Bowl.
Looks, and that's what I'm saying. We're jinxing it right now. We probably jinxed it really bad right now for either the Patriots or the Texans. But I mean, you can't overlook the Patriots, man. That team is stacked. I mean, top to bottom. It's amazing.
This is their championship game, Rudy. This is the Texans AFC championship game right here. They should be able just to go over Denver if they get past this one, right?
Yeah, but I mean, they got to get past the Patriots. It wouldn't surprise me if the Patriots won this game. The Patriots they're stacked, man. They're stacked team.
They're a good game. They're a good team. Don't get me wrong. That's why I said this should be a good game to watch.
This is going to be a great game. We also have another NFC game, Bears and Rams. Caleb Williams, I mean, he seems to put himself in bad situations, making errant passes still. I'm not going to say they don't have a chance. Obviously, if you're at this point of the season, you definitely have a chance to win. Can Ben Johnson do enough for the Chicago Bears to get them past the Rams? I'm going to go with the Rams. They were my Super Bowl pick before the season even remotely kicked off in preseason. I had the Rams winning this year. I'm taking the Rams over the Bears.
Yeah, I'm sticking with the Rams as well, man. They're playing great. We've been rolling with them. I know Elias has also said that, that's his sleeper team and stuff like that. I don't even know how it could be a sleeper team at this point, but yeah, they're a good football club. I'm going with the Rams as well.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens. We're going to break it down next weekend as well as we'll have our conference championship matchup set for next weekend. We're both taking the Rams. We're both taking the Texans. Quick note here as far as the NFL goes, coach is hired. Harbaugh is going to be coaching the New York Giants. Kevin Stefanski is going to be coaching the Atlanta Falcons. Of the two, I think Harbaugh with Jackson Dart, Cam Scatterbo, and Malik Neighbors. Plus, I think they have the 5th overall pick in this year's draft. Harbaugh is going to turn this team around. I'm giving you a sports question, and we'll get into that sports answer right now. My sports question to you, the fans out there, and to you, Jacob, right now is: are the Giants a playoff team next year?
I don't think they're a playoff team. You got to see what Harbaugh does with them, but I mean, he does have all the proper tools, I guess, that you could say that you want. Like you mentioned, Scatterbo, Dart. Scatterbo, hopefully he'll be back coming off of that injury.
Yeah.
Dart, and then like you said, Malik Neighbors. But if there's somebody who's out there who could do it, I mean, Harbaugh is one. I know Anthony is a big. We know Anthony is a Giants fan, and he was extremely happy when he heard about the signing of Harbaugh. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Not saying that they're going to propel them right into the playoffs automatically right off the bat, but I think that they'll be going in the right direction, definitely.
Can I make a bold statement now? I'm going to
No,
say
don't.
that they are. I have them as at least a minimum 9 to 10 win team next year.
Oh, really? You're going to put them in?
A healthy Giant squad with Harbaugh coming in, and I think everybody he brings in from Baltimore, which I think he's going to do, and he might even bring in some players as well. I think we're going to see the Giants turn around. I got them at right now 9 to 10 wins. I
Well,
want to see what they do in the offseason, though.
Well, if you're giving him 9 to 10, Rudy, let me ask you this: then
Sure.
are you gonna you're putting them down to win the division?
They're better than the Cowboys. They're better than I don't know if I can have them better than the Eagles. They're better than the Commanders.
You're giving them 9 to 10.
I would say, yeah. I think we got to visit that later on because I don't know what's going to happen with the Eagles. I think the Eagles are imploding. I mean, they're gonna implode. AJ Brown just doesn't want to be there anymore.
No.
I mean, if they change it, I'm going to say we need to see what happens in the offseason. But right now, 9 to 10 wins at least gives at least a second in that division.
It could be. You know what, they could be, because it kind of looks like we used to joke around back in the day that the NFC East, we used to call it the NFC least, because it was just a horrible division. Then all of a sudden, you had the Eagles get good. The Commanders got hot for a little bit, you know what I mean? And then they got that name. Now it looks like it's going to be coming back. So very well could be, man. If Giants get everything together, they could be on top of the division.
They very well could be. Real quick, man, we got to go to our first commercial break and our only commercial break. We got Monday tomorrow, Indiana, Miami. Are you still sticking? Who are you sticking with? Because I took Indiana from the get-go. I'm sticking with Indiana.
I'm going with Indiana, though I did bring up I'm having a hard time just knowing that Miami is playing in their own backyard. It's in the back of my head. It's in the back of my head. It's back. You know what I mean? I'm just like, there's like no way that a team like this could lose the championship in their backyard. I'm just going to put that out there, but I'm still going to roll with Indiana. Is Indiana, I wasn't watching them all year long, but since the playoffs started, I did start watching them, and I was like, man, that Mendoza is fantastic, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah, he is. I got Indiana, so we're both taking Indiana. I think they embarrassed Miami in their own backyard. Going to our first commercial break. When we get back, we got Spurs Cheeseman, and we end the show with your fan questions. So be sure to join myself, Jacob, Eric here on the Sports Answer. Shout out to Salem Surround. We'll be back, guys.
In San Antonio, your business deserves more than noise. It deserves to be seen. SEO, social media, digital ads. If you're not showing up, you're losing customers. At Salem Surround San Antonio, we design digital strategies that work, from web design and SEO to social, podcast, and display ads. Real tools. Real results. Let's amplify your brand. Start today with a free digital presence evaluation. Salem Surround San Antonio, your brand, everywhere it matters.
So, like, I hear about the Spurs this y Spurs that, y como que esto y esta, pero I never hear about the real Spurs chisme. Dime, por favor.
All right, we are back here on the Sports Answer. Salem Surround 210-526-3635. Contact them today. Proud sponsors of us here at the Sports Answer, joined by Jacob of Grading the Market, and of course, everybody's favorite segment, the Spurs Cheeseman, on the hottest and best 30 minutes of sports in San Antonio. It's the Spurs Cheeseman segment. Now, the Spurs went on a 2-game road trip. They lost to Minnesota after having a really big lead and blowing that lead. Let me get a little secret here. They almost did the same thing at home last night, but we're not going to get into that right now. Also going into OKC just obliterated the Spurs, which, hey, man, I mean, you're still up, 3 games? You still have a 3-game, cushion.
It's 3-1.
Yeah, 3-1. You still got a 3-game or 2. Well, 2-game cushion, not 3-game cushion, 2-game cushion when it comes to the head-to-head. But nonetheless, they did get obliterated by OKC. Kind of expected again. I mean, that was no big deal. It was a very tough road trip. Bounced back at home. They dismantled the Bucks. I mean, the game, at the end of the game, the score looked closer than what it was. It just wasn't that close, to be honest with you. Then they were dismantling Minnesota, and then Anthony Edwards decided, you know what, I need to get 26 points in that fourth quarter. Finished the night with 55 points and almost came back again on the Spurs. Luckily, the Spurs ended up righting the ship, and it's 126-123 as they beat the Minnesota Timberwolves. Victor Wembanyama, bald Victor Wembanyama, is averaging close to 30 points a game on this homestand. See anything different with the Spurs being at home? Other than, I think Jeff Garcia from Locked On Spurs was kind of asking about it when I talked to him, and I told him I think they're going to bounce back. They're going to really do good on this homestand. They've had a really bad schedule. 2 on the road, 2 at home, 3 on the road, 2 at home. It's just been back and forth. A little bit of home cooking works, but have you seen anything different from San Antonio in these 2 games at the homestand?
You know what? The thing that stands out that most, I really don't see anything different. The thing that I've seen, though, is I'm a little concerned about is how they let that team back in. And we see this team, it's consistently inconsistent. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It worries me. It worries me. It's something that they're going to have to work on going forward. And we could beat the 3-point shooting, all day long and stuff like that. But we've done that. But yeah, I think the inconsistency is the thing that concerns me the most.
And the inconsistency part is something that we've seen all year. It's highly, it's glaring this year, and it's that coming out of halftime. That third quarter seems to be where you see a lot of teams take advantage of San Antonio. Most recently, again, last night against Minnesota. Minnesota outscored the Spurs 40-27 in that third quarter, and it's concerning, man. It's concerning. They start off hot. They continue it into halftime. And then coming out of halftime, I don't know if they just become lethargic. Who knows what it is? I'm not going to blame the coaching staff, because at some point you have to understand that it's on the players coming out of that locker room.
We're not going to blame the coaching.
No, man. You know what
Right.
we did a whole segment last week. We did a whole segment on other shows as well. There's no reason to blame coaching.
I was just checking. The only reason why I bring it up is because, like you said, it's the third quarter, the fourth quarter, it's the second half. And basketball is a game of adjustments. And we see this happening usually coming out of the locker room. So I just wanted to check.
But at what point do we stop blaming the coaching staff? Because Spurs fans, especially Spurs fans on X, which is horrible. I'm not going to say it flat out. It's horrible. You have them calling for De'Aaron Fox to be traded. You don't need him. We're paying him all this money, yet De'Aaron Fox goes off for 25 and 12 last night, and now it's quiet. It's all, crickets. Then you have, Mitch Johnson and the coaching staff is terrible, terrible. You're sitting at 27, 29 and 13. You have the third best record in the league. You are the third best team in the league. How are fans ever going to say that it's a coaching staff's fault if you're one of the top 3 teams in the league and you are defeating the top teams in the league at that time?
They're fanatics, Rudy. They're fanatics. And especially when it comes to the Spurs fans, man, come on, man. Them Twitter Spurs GM trade people, they'll ship out the North Star Mall boots if you give them a chance to try to acquire something. They'll throw that in the package and stuff like that.
Well, North Star Mall has been kind of going downhill for me. I went there month ago, and it's
You
like,
are gonna throw the boots in there.
yeah, like we can relocate the boots, man. We can relocate it.
Dang, we're just
That's
putting the boots in there.
that's the Spurs cheese, man. We got about a minute left here. Let's get into your sports question of the week, man. It's a very, very good one. From frustrated UTSA fan in San Antonio, Texas. I love that. They want to be anonymous, obviously. When will the NCAA start to treat NIL deals like guaranteed contracts? I think this is coming because Jeff Traylor, UTSA loses a lot of players in the transfer portal. They're getting paid all this money, and they're going to get more money somewhere else, obviously. But I love the question because we've talked about it a long time already. We got about a minute or so here. When do we start saying, okay, Mendoza, you signed a 5-year deal? Unless you're not going to the NFL, you have to stick with this contract. There's no buyout. And if there's a buyout, it's got to be, well, you're owed $20 million. You need to give $20 million back to Indiana if you want to go play here, plus another clause of like, well, you got to pay an additional $15 million, because your coaching staff basically, they trained him up. So there's got to be some kind of compensation. But for you, when do you think they should start treating these deals like guaranteed contracts?
Well, frustrated UTSA fan, I feel your pain, and I think I know where you're going with this. UTSA did lose a lot of people in the transfer portal. I think came out. The list, because I want to say the portal closed yesterday or the day before,
And
when the
check
final
it out,
when the final list came out of the amount of players that they lost, I was just like, my goodness, I put my head down. I was a little sad myself. I was like, wow, was not expecting that. As far as your question, when will the NCAA start treating NIL deals like guarantee contracts? Man, you know what? This thing is the wild, wild west right now. And everybody is kind of just like looking around, saying like, hey, what did we open? It's kind of like we opened up a Pandora's box when we brought NIL in. Some of us say, there's changes are going to have to be made, I think, going forward. So, man, when you figure that one out, you let us know.
Definitely. I think what I said most recently, and I think I'm going to stick by my guns, is, you sign the contract. It's like any other thing. If you're going to run the NCAA like a business where you're getting contracts and guaranteed deals, then you need to run it as a business. If you're running it like a business, it needs to be a business. So just run it like NFL. If you are a UTSA player and you get, hey, you know what? I want to go play over here. FYI, that's, to me, if you're under contract, that's tampering. I mean, you shouldn't have another school or anybody contacting you if you're under contract with a certain school. But treat it like this. You've got to get traded. You have to start making trade deals. I mean, to me, that is, if you want to be treated like an adult and paid like an adult, like these NFL guys, you got to start making these rules. They've got to be compensations.
It's still crazy to me, Rudy. Every time want to jump on X or whatever kind of social, and you'll see like breaking news, so and so player is transferring or agrees to go to this school, and then they finish it with according to his agent. I'm just like, wow, man. Like, how did we get here? Yeah.
Well, it's a good thing. I like that players are getting paid. I really love it. I just think it needs to be wrangled up and brought back in just a little bit. So, UTSA fan, frustrated UTSA fan, we understand your frustration. We see it pretty much every single year now that NIL has been a part of the NCAA. So, again, sports questions of the week. The best way to do it is drop a comment, drop your question on one of the YouTube shows that we have. All you got to do is go to Answer Now TV, hit that subscribe button. You can catch us on the Sports Answer every single Sunday. Drop a question in there. I've gotten some DMs of questions, so we'll be putting out those DMs as well. That way you can, if you want your question answered, all you got to do is ask it, and that's going to be what we do here on the Sports Answer every single week. So for Jacob Eric, it's Rudy Campos Jr. Again, shout out to Salem Surround, 210-526-3635. If you have those burning sports questions, we are guaranteed to have the correct sports answers. Until we see you guys again, enjoy the NFL today. Enjoy that college football national championship game. And Spurs fans, calm down, relax. You're still one of the best teams in the league. chill out. We'll see you guys.
Go shave y'all's head.
Yeah, go shave your head. It seems to work, right? We'll see you guys next week.
You've been listening to The Sports Answer with Rudy Campos Jr. Today's show was brought to you by Salem Surround San Antonio, helping local businesses grow with digital strategies that work. Visit salemsurround.com/San Antonio to learn more. We'll see you next time on The Sports Answer.